Oh wow, I can't even do the. Oh no, that's not. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Horseshoe Pride. We're back. The gang is back together. We might have to update the intro because some of those players are no longer with Indy. So we might have to update that. But it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. I think the last time we recorded was after the it was during the draft. I think we did it at the round 1 or something like that. Yeah, it's been a long ass time, and now we're here, week 3 of the NFL season. How y'all doing, man? Chip, Kev, Meg, Boom.
Blessed to be here. Blessed to be here.
The fact that I'm feeling super nostalgic right now because it's been so long. I was like, my guys, sorry to get a little emotional, but I was like, my people, these are my people.
Yeah, we're back, man. It's been a while, and it's been a start to the season. This has been a start to the season. We're 0-2. The good thing though, Anthony Richardson has made it through 2 games. He, not going out early, nothing like that. Maybe ending drives early, but we're not going out of games early.
I'm gonna knock on every piece of wood right now because
Me too.
Oh my God, yes, I'm knocking on everything because first of all, I don't know if obviously you guys have probably seen it. If you're online like I am, you've probably seen the meltdowns that are happening in just week 2.
Oh my God.
So yes, I'm just knocking on every piece of wood. Can we just please make it through the season without any major injuries?
Are you new to Colts Twitter, Meg?
Yeah, I'm so new here. This is so much. It is just so much.
You would think that the sky is falling. And I get it. We're 0-2, right? But there have been some really close games. Week 1, the Texans game, we lost by 2 points. And that second half was just touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, like going back and forth, which is a good thing. I mean, that's a good sign to see that you can go back and forth with your divisional rivals, especially a team that is supposed to have a high-powered offense. But then, week 2 came around. And I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother knew that the Green Bay Packers were going to run the damn ball. RTDB, run the damn ball. But for some reason, it seemed like Gus Bradley did not. And I don't know. I don't know what the hell. I mean, you have a guy in Malik Willis. Maybe he believed the reports that Jordan Love was going to play that weekend, or he had a possibility of playing that weekend or something. But I don't know how you believe those reports, but they ran to the tune of 261 yards. 237 of those yards were in the first half.
Hey, Chris, we don't have to relive this. It's okay.
Oh, we gotta relive it. We gotta relive it.
You're right. And about on the wall.
About 180 of those yards were in the first quarter.
Look, you're making Chip drink. You just took a sip of his drink.
Is this our punishment for the late start?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, dang, if I gotta listen to this, let me take a swig real quick.
Cheers.
The first quarter was terrible. Second quarter, they kind of started getting it together like halfway through the second quarter. And then the second half, we held them to like 24 rushing yards. So, it's a lot of good things that happened in the second half. How y'all felt about it again?
I'm mad that we all made the same face.
You made it sound a lot better. It's been a week, so it doesn't hurt as much. I know when we were on the live stream together, it was very, very painful. The one thing I will say in defense of our wonderful boys is I felt that there were a lot of holding calls not made that really opened up some running lanes for – it's not going to count for all 500 yards they ran against us, but at least $150 of that probably came from holding penalties. So I don't know. It's it was a deflating loss. Like you said, Silu, everybody knew what they were going to do. They ran a 1988 Navy offense. I haven't seen a team win with that playbook since Lou Holtz coached at Notre Dame. All right. That was ridiculous.
I mean, we saw the Patriots win with that kind of playbook where Mac Jones threw the ball, 3 times? And all they did was run the ball in Buffalo.
Yeah, were there like 3 feet of snow for that?
Yeah, we all were all on PSF as the game was going, and it was very like, what the fuck.
The only silver lining, if you're gonna lay a goose like that, it's on the road against a non-conference team.
That's a fact.
It's about the only silver lining takeaway from that. It wrote our beef segment for this podcast, and it's ready made.
Yeah, like that was easy. Like it's and then now you trotting out Taven Bryan out there for DeForest Buckner, because we'll get to that. We will get.
I'm sorry. That. I've been holding in that laughter for months, just months. Listen, if we're going old school, we're doing beef with Ballard, like, don't make me get on my soapbox, because good Lord, it's bad enough that the run defense is, more porous than a paper towel, but then Buck's not going to be there. God help us, send help. My condolences to the defensive line.
I don't understand why we just didn't stack the box and make Malik throw the ball.
I don't know. That's what most defensive coordinators would have done. But Gus Bradley is he likes a little razzle dazzle in his football, and it was too much dazzle that day.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know. There are some silver linings from that game. Alec Pierce has decided to make a season, his 3rd year surgeons, man. Like, he's taking off. He looks really good out there. He made hella plays, not only in the Houston game, but last week versus the Packers as well. He made hella plays. Jonathan Taylor had a hell of a game, even though we only ran him 12 times.
He ran angry though.
Yeah, JT definitely ran angry.
Looked really good. And I feel vindicated on AP. I feel like all of us have all along said, give the man some patience, get a quarterback who can get the ball to him, and he'll do well. And now he's eating.
Yeah,
he's a deep ball receiver. Why isn't he doing well under a Gardner Minshew offense, guys? I don't understand. Like, what's Alec Pierce's problem? No, finally
he's on the positive side of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, finally he's got somebody who can uncork one every once in a while, and wouldn't you know it, he's going up and getting 50-50 balls. I love it. Love what we're seeing from AP.
And speaking of uncorking one, I understand this was 2 weeks ago, but that 60-yard bomb at the AR slipped and just let it go, bruh. Insane.
That is, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I would run through a brick wall for that play, because what kind of foolery is this? This is debauchery at this point, because none of it makes sense. And the fact that he did this while falling away, he slipped, and he just casually heaved a dot. And I mean a dot. Like, we already knew AR had the deep ball strength, right? Like, that's his best asset currently. But for you to be, not only you slip and then you have to fall back and then just, okay, well, AP's down there and screw it, I'm gonna throw the ball up. And, not only do you just heave it down there hoping it did you see his explanation? He literally was like,
he said, I was going to get this off anyway. I knew he was going to be down. I'm going to get it off anyway.
Yeah, AP's down there, so I'm going to throw it.
He said, we were going to AP, and I knew he was down there. I'm going to give him a chance.
I mean, he basically copped to the fact that the pocket was collapsing quickly, but he was just I just trusted AP would come down with it. Now, sir, what are you even talking about here?
Now AR in week 2, he didn't have the greatest game, but one thing I will say that I've noticed with AR over the past few weeks, and I know he had like 3 interceptions, whatever. The first 2 were terrible. The third one was a Hail Mary interception. I don't really, at the end of the game, I don't care nothing about that. The first 2 were pretty bad just because one sailed over his receiver's head straight to the DB. It was a good read. It just sailed over his head. But with AP, or now AP, but with AR, it feels like we are never out of a game. Even going back to the Rams game last year, where he didn't have a good first half, second half he came out and lit it up. Against Houston, like I said, touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. We were going back and forth that whole second half. And it was, and I think like even in that Houston game, we were still chasing those 2 points from the failed 2-point conversion. Like we were chasing those 2 points. Otherwise, had we had that, it's a tie game. We're likely going into overtime, or Houston's trying to drive down the field to get a field goal, a last second field goal or something, rather than just run the clock out. And then this game against the Packers, while he had those 2 interceptions, he was able to, like, I don't know, just when they said drop back and throw the ball, we're not running, just drop back and throw. He made play after play after play. And granted, there was one in there, or 1 or 2 in there that should have been intercepted that didn't. The one that bounced off the DB's face mask and AP caught it. But he made play after play after play to get us, to keep us in that game. And look, for a player that is as raw as AR, we know he has the deep ball. We know he can use his legs. He can run. To have that ability to still keep your team in the game, what sucks is that we're trying to make him be Superman. He doesn't need to be Superman. Our roster should be able to supplement his development. And instead, we're trying to make him be Superman. But the fact that we know he can, when he put this shit together, oh my God.
I mean, I think I've said this all along, but like Colts fans have been very spoiled with the Peyton Manning and the Andrew Luck, like back to back, right? And then you do a carousel of QBs, so the frustration is high. So I get it.
Yeah.
Like the patience is not there.
It's thin.
But to me, this is his rookie season all over again, right? Like this is essentially a redo for him. And I think like you got to live with the roller coaster of a rookie season, right? It's going to be up and down. And he's obviously, like you just mentioned, he's a lot more raw than, say a CJ Stroud or something like that coming out the top. But like, I always think about it. I'm so sorry, Panthers fans, if you're listening. But Bryce Young is currently in hell because, they have a team that doesn't support his growth. Bryce also needed some room to grow as well, but it's just a bad situation all the way around there. And I think this isn't that, but that's how people are reacting. They're reacting like it is just bad football after bad football after bad football. And I think their patience is worn thin. So there's not a whole lot of grace. And so when you ask people, well, how long is the grace? They can't give you an answer because the grace was yesterday. So, if he's not throwing, darts and touchdowns every single play, then he sucks and he's terrible. And we've never sort of drafted him and everything else.
Now, one key difference, AR's not getting Grigson. It's only been through 2 weeks, but the offensive line is keeping his pocket clean. And he's been able to stay in the pocket. And this is the ironic thing, is he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. If the pocket collapses and he scrambles, people say, well, why don't you stay in the pocket? Now this year he's staying in the pocket. He's showing that he wants to throw from the pocket. And people are like, why are you scrambling? But either way, the offensive line is keeping him clean, letting him have options. Bryce Young doesn't have that. That reminds me of the bad old days of Andrew Luck. So if the line can keep him clean, he can develop, and I think he'll dispel a lot of the impatience.
And one thing with me with AR is that you can tell he's not a run first quarterback. That was another thing coming into him coming to the Colts or just getting drafted. Everybody was like, oh, he's a run first quarterback, and I think he's dispelled a lot of that since he's been in the league. Where in Florida, sometimes he had to run. Like people just weren't open. Like there's a bunch of situations where he had to run. But here, like when he breaks the pocket, he keeps his eyes downfield. He doesn't take off unless he absolutely has to. Just like on the 20, 30-yard run he took off in the fourth quarter versus the Packers, where he ran to the sideline looking for somebody open. Nobody was open. Let me make a move and get upfield and get out of bounds. Like that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to run unless he has to, which is I'm fine with that. But just continue to develop your passing. Continue to develop your, stay with your mechanics. Like I said, the throw to Alec Pierce that was an interception, his mechanics were sloppy. He was fading away, falling back, and just threw the ball and it sailed on him. Now, if Alec Pierce was just running straight like he was against Houston, that's probably a touchdown. But because it was like a dig or a crossing route, like it goes over his head where he can't get that. And then like, I don't know, man. Like I said, once he figures this shit out, and I want people to understand they have to be patient. Like we knew he was raw. You have to be patient. When Peyton Manning first got in the league, he was terrible. He sucked. What? I'm not gonna say he sucked.
Interceptions.
Yeah. In his first 6 games, he had 6 touchdowns and 14 interceptions.
Yeah, thank God there wasn't Twitter in 1998.
Yeah. and he was known as a better passer than AR, which he was. Like coming out of college, he was a better passer. And even with Andrew Luck, coming out of college, he's a better passer. I get it. The offensive line sucked, whatever. But Andrew Luck, he had like 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions his first 6 games. All of their completion percentages sucked. Peyton had like 53%. Luck had 53%. AR is at 55%. Like, they're not good. And those two were better passers than AR is. Just let the man develop. And I'm not saying he's going to be Luck or Peyton. But I think if he develops, Colts got another one.
And we also can't just ignore the incredibly high drop rate that he's been dealing with in the first
thank God. I'm glad.
Which has to be an anomaly, right? That's the other thing that I believe there's no way AD continues to drop the ball the way he has. Josh Downs looking like he'll maybe be back this week. I'm still thinking next week just to play it safe for me personally, but that receiver room's only going to get better, and they're gonna reel it in with those drops, right? That that's got to be accounted for with some of this, because week 1 his numbers would have been a lot better, and week 2 some of those drops came at really bad times in a game where we had the ball for all of 5 minutes in the first half.
Like AD was a rookie too, don't forget.
Yeah, and it was what, a 3rd and 8, the one that AD dropped, and right before that MPJ I think he did drop the ball, but it was also DB, pushing it out or whatever. But MPJ usually catches that. Like, that's not usually something you see him drop. He usually catches that, and that was what, a 2nd and 5, and then the AP was like a third. Not AP, AD one was like a third. It was right after that. It was the.
We got too many initials. AP.
Yeah, we got too many AR. We got a lot of initials, but like those drops, and then the Colin Granson one. To me, that wasn't necessarily a drop. It was just a great play by the DB. Like he made a play. He punched it out. Like he just punched it as it was getting to Granson or whatever. And that's fine. I wish he would stop throwing to Granson, because nothing good ever happens when AR throws to Granson.
Wow.
But
a bunch of Kylan haters. Jeez.
It's not that I don't like Kylan. I like him, but anytime AR throws to him, nothing good comes from that.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow. Boom. Nothing. You're not going to back me up. Your Boom is like on mute, just shaking his head. I'm like, you're just nobody.
Tell me
like, no, I'm on mute too.
I mean, he got a point there.
Anytime he throws to he throws to Granson, what happens? Is it ever a completion?
There have been completions. Maybe
the shovel pass he gave him Sunday. There was a shovel pass in there.
There was.
AR started to take off and boom, just flicked it off to him.
Just a quick,
But come on,
what other tight ends is he supposed to be throwing to?
Let my dog Will Mallory play.
Where's Mallory?
What the hell?
Yeah.
What?
He's not the backup. He's a backup. But what I'm saying is he's been a
healthy backup to the backup.
He's been a healthy scratch the past 2 weeks.
Well,
let my dog play.
Okay, so we've had this conversation before. You know how deep they are on like Mo Alley and the gang.
Yeah, you saw Mo with that catch. Ball.
Hey, if it was a corner by him, he was dropping.
He was definitely dropping.
That's Clifford Franklin impersonation.
just, little grace for Kylan because the other options aren't spectacular either. And if they're not going to play Mallory, like it's going to have to be Kylan.
Give me Drew Ogletree. Like
he's been in, but he's just been blocking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually shocked that they haven't used Drew more because I thought before he got injured last year, like he had a spectacular training camp, and he was tight end number 1 before he got hurt. So I thought that they would probably try to get him ramped back up, but the volume just hasn't really been there. So I don't really know. And then there was a conversation the other day. I got into a conversation with someone the other day on Twitter about like. They were saying like how the Colts tight ends have been disappointing since like Dallas Clark. And I'm like, well, we've also had like 10,000 quarterbacks. So it's really hard to evaluate, the tight ends. If you're not like the last person that I really remember utilizing the tight ends well was like Luck. And their argument was like, hey, Philip Rivers likes tight ends. And I'm like, yeah, but name me a tight end touchdown you remember from Philip Rivers season. Like
the only one we had was Jack. Since
right, yeah, and that's that was my argument was that like I thought Jack Doyle was at least that one person who was reliable, but like everything else has been like, and it's mostly because the quarterback play has been so up and down. Like your tight ends aren't going to get used if they're like if the quarterback is terrible.
Yeah, the offensive scheme is shifted
35
too.
Plus years old.
But Luck, going back to Luck and then all the way back to Manning, they used a lot of 2 tight end formations where both of them would be out passing, receiving, and now they've morphed into the tight ends or in blocking and just not using them as much in the passing game. And maybe that's a function of more RPO focus, or I don't know, but they're not emphasizing the tight end.
I don't like it because, like, I mean, now listen, this is me dating it a little bit, but of course, remember when Kobe Fleener and Dwayne Allen were on the field at the same time? Like, that's the last time I remember having both tight ends out there. Because I mean, it was either Jack or Mo. They were never really on the field at the same time. If they were, it's because one of them was blocking. Like,
well, what about Jack and Eric Ebron?
I mean, okay, yes, I forgot about
Ebron had that one good year.
That one good year, like, yeah, and I think that's probably why I forgot it because I was like, "Whoa, that was so long ago." I'm so sorry, Eric Ebron, if you're listening to this, but it was definitely a lifetime ago.
He's going to be searching for mentions of his name.
Listen, I'm probably going to get added on Twitter or something like at this point. Listen, Eric, this is not me, like, it's not me talking about you. I'm just saying it was a lifetime ago that we had that good season.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We got Drew, we got Mo, we got Granson, we got Mallory. Jelani can't stay healthy, which that sucks. That really sucks.
Don't make me toss my phone, man.
Yeah, but it is what it is there. Another one can't stay healthy, Juju Brents. Again, we'll get to the injuries.
But we'll get to the injuries. We're over 20 minutes into this podcast. We're talking about the one part of the team that's actually clicking decently. An offense that's put up 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks, which puts them in 5 teams, something like that. Have 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, there's not a lot of teams that's been scoring touchdowns this season. Offenses have been trashed this whole season.
So elephant in the room is the other side of the ball.
Yeah. Before we get there, because we do have Michael Pittman Jr., we have AD Mitchell, we got Alec Pierce, you have Josh Downs coming back. I do think that's where I don't know tight end usage may be a little out the window this week. We'll see. I mean, because also because this week it may present some matchup problems for the Bears if we don't use tight ends. I don't know. We'll see. Our tight ends are good blockers though, especially Drew and Mo. So there's that. But we'll go into this next part because Chip, you did talk about the other side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball that has not showed up for the past 2 weeks. Well, actually, I'll say this. They were able to stop the run in the second half. But here we go. Beef with Ballard and Gus.
And Gus is great.
Beef with Ballard and Gus.
Yeah.
Because all off season, granted, we weren't doing shows or anything, but all off season, we was talking about how, hey, go sign us another corner. Go sign us another safety. We need a free safety. And mind you, Nick Cross has been playing phenomenal. I will take nothing away from him. He's leading the league in tackles, which That is not a good thing for a safety to be leading the league in tackles. That lets you know there are other problems elsewhere.
That's that elephant-sized hole in the defense Chip was talking about.
That's more like planet-sized at this point.
But nonetheless, he's having a really good start to his third season in the NFL. And his first season starting, he's better than Rodney Thomas, so that's always a plus. But we asked for Ballard to go get corners. We asked him to sign his safety. We asked, hey, just in case Grover goes out, please bring us somebody that can help in that aspect. He did get Raekwon Davis, which I like that signing. I like the signing. But DeForest Buckner is now hurt. Our starting corner, Juju Brents, is now hurt, which commendable to him because you had an MCL injury and you played the whole game. I commend you on that, my brother, because that's tough. But he's now hurt, so that moves Jalen Jones as the starting DB, and then a rotation of guys as our other outside corner. Last week it was Samuel Womack and Dallas Flowers. I don't know who is going to be this week. We'll see come Sunday.
I don't know who it's going to be this week. It's such a strong statement.
I mean, I don't though. Like I assume it's going to be the same thing, Samuel and Dallas.
That just tells you where we are, though. Like we are at this point where we're like, "Oh, who's it going to be this week?"
That's the problem, Meg. And it's not so much because I trust that Ballard tried to go out and make moves, and he got outbid on people.
Yeah,
you look at the Twitter sphere, and they're like, "Well, you sign this person, this person, this person." There are too many people who've been playing too much Madden because that's not how it works. I know that Ballard is out there trying to make moves, and he didn't win. My problem is when he comes out and says, "Well, we're just happy with the people we have."
Oh my gosh!
I like my guys.
We like our guys. I like the guys we have in the room.
And then at the end of the season, it'll be, I put that on me. That's my fault. Rinse and repeat.
I'm not afraid of this big challenge. You know what? I get up, I wake up, I live for a challenge like this. Rebuild.
Yeah,
if it gets me fired, it gets me fired.
Yeah, if it gets me fired, it gets me fired.
Listen, I wish it was a harder job.
Can we make this beef with Ballard, Gus, and Jim Irsay? Because I blame Jim Irsay for this foolery because he's the one who basically said Chris Ballard is like the next Michael Jordan. And basically the man's untouchable at this point.
Yeah, no, he is. He's just as bad as a GM.
It really boggles my mind because listen, do I think Chris is a good dude? I do. This is not me attacking his character or anything else like that. And I think he's made some very solid moves as a GM, right? He's gone out and found some really dope gems. But Chris is so bullish on some of his decisions that is just maddening. And I really wonder if there's nobody in the room that says, "Hey, Chris, this is probably not a great idea." Because I feel like Jim Irsay is like, "Hey, listen, my man, I trust you. Let's roll," or whatever else. But I also feel like this is going to end up if this, let's say and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but God forbid the rest of the season goes terribly or whatever else. It's going to have to be an epic meltdown of proportions for Jim Irsay to be so mad that he comes out and makes a speech about it. But even then he probably would still say, "I trust Chris Ballard," and that's where we are. So it just it makes my skin crawl.
Boom said, "Nah, hell nah."
Hey, I already know the first domino that's going to fall is going to be Gus Bradley. He won't be brought back. Before Chris is let go, Gus will be the scapegoat. So Chris is going to stay for another year, and if things don't happen right or things just don't pan out next year, then Chris is gone.
Yeah.
I think Chris is
tethered. It's going to be Gus.
Chris is tethered to Shane and AR. As long as they're here, Chris will be here.
Yep.
So, Kev, at what point do we admit the Novocaine isn't working? Because how much time did we give it?
Whatever happened to the term "rather be safe than sorry"?
Listen,
it's Gus Bradley. It's Gus Bradley's third down defense. Boom, that's where it is.
Listen, there was a play.
You need 8 yards. We'll have our corner stand 9 yards back. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, literally. There was a play on 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5, and our corners are not playing the sticks. They're playing beyond the sticks. Yeah,
in Denmark.
Yeah, or they might have just stayed in Indiana. Who knows? But
they made business decisions before the play even happened. They were like, I don't think so.
They were back, and it's not their fault. I'm not blaming the DBs. I'm blaming our defensive coordinator because it's 3rd and 5. Why are you having them play not only 7 yards off, but then backpedaling? So now they're like 10 yards off, and the receiver's at the sticks by himself.
Well, and
just like, hey, I'm open.
These are young DBs too, so they're getting burnt. Like they're toast. Like we're talking almost Greg Toller levels here. Like,
nah, it's not that bad.
Hey, listen. It's not that bad, but that's the vibes it gives me down in my spirit, and maybe I'm a little like, that's a little deep wound. But when I see folks out there getting cooked like that, I'm like, oh
see,
man.
Listen, it's not Brandon Faison type bad.
Oh, see, I wasn't even gonna say him because I know how you feel about him.
Because like
I would even take that.
Even Jalen Jones, like on the one where he caught the ball, where I think it was Romeo Doubs caught the ball. My issue there is you're there, Jalen. You are right there. Matter of fact, you're running down the field and you're looking back and you see the ball. Why do you run past and then allow the receiver to come back and jump up and get the ball when you could have just ran, stop, interception, something to not let him get the ball?
Those are his guys, though.
Because and I like Jalen Jones, and that was the thing. I wasn't mad about us running it back with the young guys because I do think that they need playing time so they can get better and so they can. I mean, because that's really when you get the reps, it helps. When you really get the reps, it helps. So I like that they played, but my thing was, okay, you got the young guys out there, but who do we have behind them? Can we get some vets? Can we get somebody that can come in just in case Juju gets hurt? And we don't have to worry about that. Now, again, I like Samuel Womack just from the little bit of film from San Francisco. We don't really know much about him because guess what? They didn't throw the ball again. They didn't throw the ball last week. They threw the ball like 14 times. And so we didn't really get to see a lot of Samuel Womack out there in coverage because all they did was run down our throats because Gus Bradley. So now it's left to be seen who can play the opposite side of Jalen, but playing 20 yards off the ball on 3rd and 5 just doesn't make any sense to me.
The part that bothers me more than that is there ever been a team that you've had less confidence in on 3rd and 10 or longer that they're going to get off the field? That is the most infuriating part for me.
Chip, man.
What was it? 1st and 20?
First and 20? 1st and 20.
Literally, does anybody sit on the sideline and be looking like the hell? Like, does anybody just look at Gus and be like, the hell?
Hey,
like,
listen,
come on.
Listen,
like,
I told my husband last week, so he picks defenses like based on the week or whatever else. He just rotates defenses out. And I was like, hey, if Colts defense is available, go like please don't pick them. No. And he was like what? I was like, I'm just saying. I was like, don't pick them. And if you have a running back that starts against them, play them, put them in the starting lineup. And it's just been that bad.
Well,
my girl had texted me. She was like, hey, I gotta pick between defenses. I was thinking about the Colts. I said, babe, don't do that. Don't. I was like, don't do that. I was like, first of all, I don't know who's playing our second corner. Secondly, our run defense has been ass, and they probably just gonna run the ball all over us. I said, don't do that. I said, just pick somebody else. They'll probably do a lot better. And so she texted me something. Thank you for telling me not to pick the Colts defense.
I mean, he was determined to pick because he's like, oh, it's Malik Willis, and I'm like,
yeah, that would be my thought too. If our run defense wasn't bad,
exactly my point. Which is why I say to him, like, listen, if you got anybody else, Josh Jacobs, start him.
So I was pretty confident going into the game that Gus Bradley was going to make Malik Willis look like Aaron Rodgers. But no, he didn't even do that. They didn't even try that. He just ran it. The whole world expected they're going to run.
Why would you even try to throw the ball if you know the Colts are giving up like 200 plus yards? Like,
and what's crazy is like, and I'm not saying Malik played bad. I don't think Malik played bad. He made a couple throws down the field, but everybody tried to like credit him for whatever. And I'm like, when you throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage for most of the game, and you let everybody else do the work, that's going to make you look good. Like, they threw the ball 14 times and ran the ball 30 plus times.
But you know what? He made positive plays based on the field that was given to him. They executed, and the Colts didn't. So props to them.
So, and look, man, Zaire and EJ, those are my guys. I rock with them. They're not playing up to standard. They know it. They both know it. And I will say part of it is also because it looks like Gus is trying some new thing. So the thing is that we said Gus doesn't evolve. Gus has been evolving. And I will say he has. Yes, he still likes to cover 3 and all of that bull, but he has been evolving. And I think it's led our linebackers to be more in their heads rather than more instinctive, because EJ and Zaire, they're instinctive linebackers. They're not those linebackers that just go out there and try to think and whatever. But I feel like that's what they're doing now. And it's led them, like I said, their play isn't up to par. And even Zaire said, like, stopping the run is a mindset. It's a mentality. You got to want to. And so hopefully this week against the Bears, whose run offense has been terrible, we do not let David Montgomery look like Barry Sanders.
I mean, Joe Mixon looked like Adrian,
I tried to look this up for credit, but I couldn't find it. Who said it on Twitter? I think it was one of the Colts beat writers who said that we are looking at a matchup of a movable force against a resistible object. And that I could not think of a more apt description of the Bears run offense versus the Colts run defense this week.
Listen, man.
I think Boom was going to try to say something.
What's up, Boom?
No, go ahead. No, all I was going to say was, I don't know if he's playing this weekend, but we need to be attacking Nate Davis.
Who's that? Their guard?
Yep. Their right guard.
I mean, we should just be attacking their whole interior offensive line because they're just ass.
Oh, but Nate Davis? Oh, he's cheeks. He's real cheeks. He's Matt Pryor. He's big Matt Pryor.
Oh, hey, Matt Pryor. Matt Pryor, I guess, was practicing for them the other day because Matt Pryor's on that. Yeah, he's on the Bears team.
Oh, I hope he starts right tackle.
Is that where their right tackle learned some of his moves from? I saw some of Hunter's highlights. He just did like a little 1-2. Yeah, don't touch me. It was like he was playing flag football. He didn't get touched.
Hey, I hope Matt Pryor is playing. But the thing is, if he's playing, it only matters is if we make them throw the ball. If we don't make them throw the ball, then none of that matters, because that means David Montgomery is Walter Payton. Like, none of that matters if we don't make them throw the ball, if we don't stop the run. And with all this, with all the stuff they have been talking this week, not shit, because they haven't been talking shit this week, but all the stuff they've been saying this week as far as stopping the run, I hope they are very committed to stop the run, because look, this is what I'm gonna tell you. I was looking at this the other day, looking at team stats, just wanting to see what teams look like through 2 weeks of the season. The Bears have the 31st rushing offense. They have only ran for 198 yards this season. They average 99 yards a game. I swear, oh Lord, if we go out there and we give up 150, I'll give them 150. If we give up 150, I'm gonna have some issues.
Hey, is Gus gone? If we give up 200 yards,
he might be. Honestly.
He better be. He better be on. He better be on the first thing smoking out of Indianapolis.
I think what is so fascinating to me is just the drop off. Like the Colts, like obviously we've had issues in the past with the Colts, passing defense, but like the run defense is where they pride themselves.
That was the bread and butter,
right? Like it's a top 10 run defense. I'm just so perplexed. Perplexed.
And all season, trenches. Our trenches are supposed to be this. Offensive line looks amazing.
The Colts had the number 1 offensive line in week 2. The number 1 offensive line in week 2 across the entire league. Which is like, okay, all right, what happened to the other side of the ball?
And again, I'm telling you, I do believe it's the linebackers. Colts film room. If you don't follow him on Twitter, follow him. He does amazing like breakdowns and stuff. He used to work in in the league. He's young too. He's like 24 years old, but he used to work in the league or whatever. But he does amazing breakdowns on like the plays and just different things. I talk to him almost every day, sending him plays and stuff like, "Hey, what do you see here? This is what I'm seeing." Blah blah blah. Dope. He does dope stuff on Twitter. So follow him if you don't. Colts film room. But he was saying how like, and I already knew this. Like I know this just from playing. But like linebackers and defensive line, they have a real like that's a real relationship between those two as far as like stopping the run game. And he was saying when your backers aren't, if they're not attacking the gaps and everything, then that'll and the linemen are getting pushed back into the linebackers, allowing those double teams to happen and everything. That f's up the run game, the run defense. And so I really think our linebackers, because they're not able to play with instinct at this moment, maybe hopefully, pray to God that things change this week, that they're more instinctive. Then that changes because then they're hitting the gaps, they're hitting where they're supposed to go. Those double teams aren't getting back to them, and they're able to, get some stops or whatever.
They're not getting beaten to the edge, which our linebackers getting beat to the edge.
Too. That too, getting beat to the edge. Listen, man, I wish we still had Bobby. And I mean, Bobby Zaire and EJ, I think would have been a really good linebacking core. And it's not a knock on Carlisle's, because I don't think Carlisle's has been playing really all that bad. And that was another thing. When we went to base defense, that's when we figured. So when we stopped shit. When we was out there in nickel, we couldn't stop a dime. but when we went out there in base in 4-3, we was good. So
Gus just needs to ask Madden this week. Simplify things a little bit.
Just do the like when you pick a play where it just says coach's suggestion.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of cover 2 man, but that's all right. At least we'll be in the proper formation.
So look, I think if our defense can get the issue on the other side of the ball though with the offense is the Bears have a really good passing defense. They have a really good passing defense. Their corners are really good. Tariq Stevenson, Jalen Johnson, the other one, Jaquan Brisker at safety. I forget who their other safety is. But they have a really good secondary. So my thing is, I think we need to run the same thing I said last week. Run the damn ball. We need to run the damn ball against the Chicago Bears, and I think we'll have some success. I don't think we need AR to drop back and throw 30 plus times, and it's not because I don't think he can. It's because I don't think we need that. we don't. Jonathan, there's no reason Jonathan Taylor shouldn't have over 30 or at least 25 carries this week. He had 12 last week. Like, come on. And I get it. I understand why. I understand what happened and why he went out. But this week, keep the game close if we stop the damn run and we run the damn ball.
I just feel like, oh, go ahead, Chip.
No,
I was gonna say, maybe it's just me, and I'm gonna ask this to you guys. Do the starts to our games feel predictable to you?
They definitely have a script.
Yeah.
They definitely
like we're not going to score and they're going to score first. Like that.
They want to see. They want to. I guess they want to kind of see what defenses they're running.
Yeah.
And go from there. But to me, when's the last time we went and actually hit another team in the mouth?
That is where I was going.
That too.
Like when is the last time we said, "Damn, we up like 14"?
The last time we did that was against the Steelers when we went and beat we bent them over from start to finish.
Sir, please. This is a children's
program. Sorry,
no
Meg.
Diddy.
This is a children's program.
No Diddy. But what I'm saying is that was the game where we dominated them from whistle to whistle, and you saw that. Like Tyler Goodson had a good game. Trey Sermon had a good game. I don't remember if Zach Moss played that game, but if he did, I'm pretty damn sure he had a good game. but we hit them in the mouth, and we did whatever we wanted to do. We had our way with them.
I think that's where I'm going, is that, like, yes, I know that they want to, take it easy as they get into the rhythm of the offense, that sort of thing, or whatever else. But, like, I can't remember the last time that we were just like, boom, score on the first drive. Boom, come back at another, whether it's another touchdown or a field goal or whatever else. Like, it's been such a long time that it feels like now, when you actually have a quarterback who can throw, that you should be trying to attempt to do these things. And then the other thing is, like, to Chip's point, he said it earlier, like, Jonathan Taylor was running angry last week. And I will take angry JT on every single day and twice on Sunday. Like, if the man is running angry, by all means, get the heck up out the way and let the man run. And I think that, like, I find myself, like, screaming when he comes off the field, because it's always in the middle of, like, you'll get like 2 or 3 good runs and they'll be like, all right, come on, player, like, come off the field. Like, and I'm just like, who is calling this?
I would have taken him in the fourth quarter last week. The Colts were only down 2 touchdowns, so you're not in a must-pass situation. He was getting more yards per carry than I think we were in the passing game, and the receivers were dropping 50% of the balls that their drop rate was atrocious. I think they dropped 1 for every 2 that they caught. So I would have taken JT in the fourth quarter last week. More likely that they would have scored again.
I get why we took him out, because we did go very pass heavy, and we've all said it before. JT's not the best pass catching back. He's not the best pass blocking back, which, if you watch the play that Anthony Richardson threw that first interception, JT whiffed on a block, pressure got back to AR, and that's what caused him to fade away and, throw the ball or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we even before he went out, the 3rd and 1 play, where we put Trey Sermon back there for a triple option. What the hell? Put JT back in the game, let him run downhill. Simple as that.
What are you doing? And if you are, at least if you're gonna have an option, at least have one of the 3 options be JT running downhill. He wasn't even in the game. What are we doing?
Play action not a thing anymore?
And then even I guarantee you on that 31, if you have JT in there, because having Trey Sermon back there, it doesn't create the threat that JT is running the ball. So, like, even if you do decide to do a triple option, right, then I guarantee you the backer is more keyed in on JT than he is on AR, because he could key in on AR and try to play both, but he could key in on JT. He would probably more so key in on JT, and then AR could just fake and get upfield, slide, get down, get the first down.
Having Trey Sermon in there on 3rd and 1 reminds me of that play. A certain play I'm thinking of that would have won the Colts the AFC South division.
Well, I'm not mad at that either.
I'm just saying that, like, when you put yourself in these situations, you deserve what you get. If you put certain backs out there, or, even if a certain back isn't available, or you choose not to use him, there are other folks on the team who can, catch things or create, just positive things. I'm just saying that's all. And so every time I see things like that, I just flashbacks. That's all.
And I'm going to issue a challenge to JT. I know he's not in our division anymore, but damn it, if King Henry can make himself a viable option in the Titans passing game last year, learn how to catch, learn how to pass block, dude. You got paid. You're the most important player on this offense. We cannot afford for you to not be out there on the fourth quarter because you can't do a basic fundamental need of your position. All right? Come on, man. Like that.
Nah,
we should not have to be dealing
Ken wants to cuss so bad.
That was a Ken. That was a
look here, pal, buddy.
Excuse me, sir. Yeah. Like to speak to your manager or your position coach.
Yeah, let me speak to your offseason training.
Definitely let me speak to your manager.
But no, I agree with Kev. Like, you got paid, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, you got to figure that out, because there's no reason. He's a dynamic running back. He's a very dynamic running back. And if he was the pass catcher of, let's say, Saquon, CMC, because he could run the ball just like them. Like, he runs the ball like them. But if you had that pass catching element, oh my God. Like, just the things that you could do, like Marshall Faulk, LaDainian Tomlinson type shit. Like, for real.
So that's one of those situations. where critics were saying that it's an accuracy issue, but it was a drop by JT. A ball that he should have caught. Now it was placed on the way that he turned.
Back shoulder.
It was not necessarily going to pick up the first down, but he's JT. So if he's got the ball, he always has a chance to pick up the first down. Some were saying maybe if he doesn't turn, he lets it come over his shoulder, he gets better. But either way, that's a drop. He didn't give himself an opportunity to make a play when he got the ball. And that wasn't an accuracy issue on AR. That was JT dropping the ball.
And that's one of the things I've tried to like diminish on Twitter, because everybody's talking about accuracy. But if you watch AR, it's not. I mean, yeah, there are some inaccurate throws in there. Like, I would be lying if I said there wasn't. There are some inaccurate throws in there. Like the interception was an inaccurate throw, but most of his throws that have some issues are ball placement. It's not, and ball placement doesn't equal bad ball placement doesn't equal inaccurate, because maybe yes, that throw should have been on his up the field shoulder. He threw it back shoulder, but it was still a catchable pass. That doesn't make it inaccurate because it's still a catchable pass. The ball placement just wasn't in the right place. Now, as far as like and there was a couple other ones like and I mean, well, that's an issue. And then as far as like take some heat off the ball, like, and I'm not saying he put a lot of heat on the ball to JT, but there was one that to Adonai Mitchell at the beginning of the game. I think it was second or third down, and I don't even think there was a lot of heat on that one. AD just, I don't know what it is, but it seems like AR drops back, he's ready to throw, AD's not ready to catch. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm ready, but you're not ready, but I got to get this out. Like, I got to let go of this thing. I need you to be ready. And like, because the ball literally, it went right here, like right across his face, and you see AD like, oh shit. So like, I don't think it was a heater. I just think he sometimes he's just not ready, and I think that it's a timing issue.
He's a rookie. That's all fixable.
He's a rookie.
They need time, rapport, film time. They'll fix that, and they're gonna be a dynamic pair once they get those things worked out.
This is the best game for them to get those kinks worked out. This is the best game right here against the Bears. I understand they have a dynamic secondary, but oh my God, if AD, because AD be open, I'm not gonna hold you. AD be open a lot. he finds a way to get open every time.
You got to think he's getting guarded by their third best corner.
Yeah,
who most likely isn't a speed guy, and his cover skills probably isn't that good. Even though he might be a nickel, he's probably just good in that position, but he's not keeping up with AD.
And AD's getting open, man.
And then having Josh back. Plays. Yeah.
Yep, having Josh back, that'll be nice as well.
Alec Pierce is in AD's ear on the sideline. Like, don't worry, kid, it gets better. They'll find you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fact. he probably is like, hey, listen, man, I done went through 2 years, and look, I got me a quarterback that can touch me downfield. Like, listen, man, it gets better. And he's like, AR is gonna work out the kinks, and it's gonna get better with time, buddy. He's definitely talking to him on the sideline. But with that, we talk about downs and everything. And before we end, I do want to get into like our predictions for this game. But we talk about Downs coming back, who comes back from injury. We talked a little bit about Juju earlier. We talked about Jelani, DeForest Buckner. Man, injuries, man, and it seems like they're piling up across the league, though. So I don't feel like it's only us, because it feels like everybody's getting injured.
My fantasy team is currently in ruins, so it's not just the Colts.
So how we feeling about our injuries going into this game, especially the big one? I mean, the big elephant in the room, of course, is DeForest Buckner, who they just put on IR.
Yeah,
I would honestly think that even though it's tough, these can be blessings in disguise. Like, it can give some of the depth chart guys some real run and just build that depth on the team, especially with our D tackles. Taven, I mean, bro, got to go. But I think Tommy and Raekwon, if they take advantage of this opportunity, it'll only make us better.
They got to use Taven right. They got to use him right. I don't know if he starts tomorrow or not tomorrow, Sunday, but he should not be. So one of the things I saw today, I think it was Nate that had wrote an article. Nate Atkins had wrote an article about it with him talking to Taven, and he was like, "I don't know why they're playing me a nose tackle," and he's like, "I can play it. It ain't gonna look pretty, but you know."
Is that where they really put him at?
They've been putting him at nose tackle and in the 3 tech. That's why things have been looking exactly, and that's why things have been looking the way they've been looking, because they play him at nose tackle and 3 tech, and then when he's in the nose tackle, it's very noticeable because hey, he gets his ass pushed around. That's the thing.
He's so small.
He's small. He's too small to be taking on 600 pounds of man coming to block.
Yeah. Like
it's like the fever taking on the aces under the basket.
Yeah, is he gonna like try to crawl underneath?
He was like, "I've got my reference. Hold on." I love that, by the way, Chip. That was great.
That was a good reference. Chip. That was a good reference.
Nose position. Like,
shout out to the WNBA.
Yeah, shout out to them. You know what? Not having Buck feels like. It feels like, you know, that X-Men meme where it's laying on Wolverine's laying on the bed and he's got the picture. It's like, I miss you. Yeah, that's currently where I'm at with not having to force Buckner on the line. Listen, there's something special about the way that Buck works with Grover right in the middle. And when you don't have one or the other, you see just disastrous things happen. So the fact that Buck is going to be gone for multiple weeks at a time, like I might need a moment to cry in a dark room, let it out, because I'm so sorry. This is sorry to that man, sorry to Taven Bryan, but it's no disrespect to you, but like putting you in the middle is just such a disservice to you. It's a disservice to the defensive line. Like it's not fair. And I think he's just way too small to be there. And there's currently, I won't say anybody on the roster who can't fill Buck's shoes. Obviously that's a tall task, but there's like one. There's somebody who could if
it's someone who's built similar to Buckner, which is the reason they drafted him in Deo.
Yes,
they have similar frames. Mind you, he's no DeForest Buckner, but they have a similar build. And I will say our run game got considerably better when he was in the middle versus Taven.
That's where I was going. But you know, I try not to scream those things because hey, I'm just a lowly Colts fan here. But those are the things that like I worry about. So like when I see things like Buck and Juju, and for Juju, I feel for him on a personal level because that has to eat away at you mentally. Like you aren't able to stay healthy. And I think, and not even on that side of the ball, on the other side of the ball, like for Michael Pittman to be dealing with a calf and a back at the same time, y'all.
Oh my God!
I probably I threw my hat like an old man several times on Sunday, just rage throwing at this point because I'm like the drops and don't let me forget Matt Gay also has injuries too.
Lord Jesus, what the hell have you been doing to have all these damn injuries, dog?
I don't know, but there's a certain man that paid him. And
I'm not mad that he got paid because you can't predict injuries, right? Like you can't predict injuries.
No.
But
it's par for the course for Chris Ballard.
It has not worked out. And you know what this reminds me of, right? You said the calf and the back for Michael Pittman. I remember a certain somebody who got paid and then started dealing with calf and ankle and back issues and just never returned to the same person they were.
Was it Grant Hill?
No.
Oh, sorry. I got my wires.
He plays for the Colts. He played for the Colts. Yeah, Shaq, man.
Yep.
Shaq. Yeah. And I don't know, the MPJ stuff came out of nowhere, but that could explain why over the first 2 games he has kind of looked not necessarily like himself.
And,
yeah.
And can somebody explain to me how Colts injury progressions always look like Anchorman after the battle of the news teams? Like, how do they always escalate so quickly when in the morning we hear that Buck, he's got a sprained ankle. He might be back this week. And then by the afternoon, when I'm starting to scroll Twitter after work and now he's on IR. How does it always happen?
Yeah, do they switch the MRIs like that new Dave Bautista movie? He's like, oh, whoops, my bad. Actually, you have no knee. My bad. You're out for the year. Sorry.
Listen. I'm in a group chat with all ladies because I'm in an all ladies fantasy football league, but we talk football all the time, all day long. People are throwing stuff in that group chat, and literally someone threw the Buck news in there, added me, and was like, "I'm so sorry, Meg." And the whole group chat was like, "No."
Trust me, that happened to me too. Because I'm like Chip. Because I mean, I wasn't really. I was active. No, I wasn't really active that day on Twitter. I don't believe. But because usually I am. I'm very active, arguing with people left and right and everything. But I don't think I was that active that day. But somebody had added me or had sent it in one of the group chats I'm in, and I don't usually check my group chats, but for whatever reason, I decided to check it that day. And I saw, I'm like, hold on, what? I'm just like, there's no way. They just said it was a high ankle sprain. They didn't say he was going to be out. And they say, whatever, they continue to monitor him. And then Buck is headed to IR. Huh?
All I know is pain. All I feel is pain.
Like, what did we do as a franchise to just have such bad luck to where we can't just have nice things?
We can never have nice things. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Shaquille Leonard has an amazing 2021 season. Amazing.
Phenomenal.
Then the next year. Done.
Again, there's only one person to blame for these things. It starts and ends, with a him, Ursay. And I'm gonna stand on that hill. I love him as a person. He's, I got no beef there. But like the decision making, and I feel like, this is probably, if you've ever seen Color Purple, and when Celia is like, till you do right by me, yeah, this is where we're at here. Like, listen, Jim, so you do right by this team, this franchise. Like, I'm not saying he's made horrible decisions. I'm not saying that at all. But like, there have been some things in the last, we'll call it 10 years, right? That I'm just so perplexed by. Like, it's embarrassing to get on the internet. It's embarrassing to like talk to your friends when you're like, hey, the Colts haven't won a season opener in 11 seasons. Like, like things like that, stats like that, where you're like, dang, is it really that bad? And then not only did you lose your season opener, the injuries just started falling from the sky. And I don't know. I just feel like it is too much of a coincidence for Chris Ballard to be finding all of these people and for them to just suddenly just catch fire with injuries. It just makes no sense. Is it the Colts training staff? Like, do I need to go conspiracy theory here? Obviously, I'm not going to go conspiracy theory, but this is how Twitter works, right? Like, Twitter's going to be like, it's the training staff, it's this, it's that. At this point, like, I got nothing. I really have nothing, and so I just hold my breath every week and hope that the Colts win.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're going to be doing this week, huh? So week 3, the Bears. Let's give our predictions. What are we feeling this week? 0-3 or 1-2?
I'll be the eternal optimist and say the fixable stuff gets fixed in the film room, and the Colts win comfortably. Let's say 10-point win. I don't know. 27-17. How about that?
27-17. Okay. Meg?
Why are you going to go to me? All right. So I'm picking the Colts, but I'm doing it with my eyes closed. Do not ask me for the
So you're throwing a dart at the board?
I'm literally throwing a dart at the board. So we do staff picks at USAT and for the win. So we do staff picks every week, which my staff picks were absolute garbage last week. First week 12-4, but last week was awful. Which, by the way, I don't feel so bad because the entire staff who did staff picks, all of our first 4 picks were wrong. Like, all of us had them unanimously the same, and they were all wrong. So it was, phenomenal week. But in my staff pick, I say that to say in my staff picks this week, I closed my eyes and I picked the Colts. I just feel like playing at home, Colts typically play better at home. I don't know. This would be a phenomenal time for Kenny Moore to get a pick, for, somebody, Hurricane Dio, just come through and boop, ball comes out. Like, whatever you got to do, defense, to like get your juice back. This would be the week. I do not want, Caleb Williams looking like Dan Marino out there, or anybody else. Listen, he could be Jay Cutler on Sunday. I don't know, but like it cannot be.
I would take that. I'd be okay with that.
It cannot be a Hall of Famer performance. I'm just letting you know now, like, because I feel like Colts fans might rage if it is. And Gus might have a Monday morning meeting if it doesn't look better. So,
but would that be a bad thing?
I mean, I'm not ever going to wish for someone to lose their job, but I'm all for accountability. And if you aren't performing the way that you need to, we all know the NFL is a "what have you done for me lately" league, and so he will be obviously, talked to about that. If you want to score out of me, I don't know. I don't think it's actually going to be like a blowout or anything else like that. I actually think the Colts probably win by like 3. I don't have it, I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like the Bears are probably going to look like way better than they actually are, because the Colts have a habit of doing that, just making teams look way better than they actually are. And this is my long-winded ramble because I'm just talking through hurt and pain at this point. But yes, this is Colts by 3.
Talk it out, Meg. Just talk it out.
I'm trying, y'all. It's been so long since I've talked Colts football. I think because y'all know me, I've been living in WNBA land. I'm up to my eyeballs in basketball. So when I actually get to talk like Colts and step away from football, it's like, ooh, listen, I got a whole lot I've been sitting on.
She got a whole lot she got to say. And I do agree with you on, please don't let it be a Hall of Fame quarterback performance. He is still a rookie. Please let him look like a rookie. And Keenan Allen is hurt. He's not playing on Sunday. I know they got Rome, they got DJ, but again, he's missing one of his weapons, and their run game sucks. So they're 31st in the league. Like, listen, if they look anything like a top 15 run offense, fire Gus Bradley to the moon.
Yeah, it's rough, dude. If DeAndre Swift, Roscoe Johnson, and the dude who wrote the
that's their running back, Swift, not
run
Montgomery.
over
that's
us, right. We're done here. Get out of here.
That's right. Montgomery's in with the Lions. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. If DeAndre Swift goes out there and he's Walter Payton 2.0, fire him into the moon. It's over. Yeah, it's over. Vince Carter, it's over. Like, yes, fire Gus into the moon. I'm sorry. Like, Shane, I know you got a relationship with him. I know y'all friends, y'all buddies, y'all pals. Y'all can still have that relationship. Tell that man it's not personal, it's business. And we all have talked about how we felt about Gus when we hired Gus. We all talked about it. We all knew. And now it's rearing its ugly head once again. Kev, who do you have winning this game?
This is a tough one. I'm somewhere in between Chip and Meg, I think. I'm probably closer to where Meg's at with it. I do believe the Colts will eke one out, if by no other reason, guys, than the law of averages. The Bears were gifted a win against the Titans in a game that they really shouldn't have won. So they should be 0-2 right now as well, and they're not. And I just think in a fair and just world, both teams leave week 3 1-2. So I think somehow, some way, even if it be by dumb luck or the hands of fate itself, the Colts are going to squeeze one by here. But I think unfortunately, I think this one might not be a very entertaining game. I could see it being like a 19-17 kind of affair where just nobody does anything well. I'm really not sure what to expect from this game, but I think it's going to be close. And I hope that the home crowd is enough for the Colts to squeeze by. I was so confident about this game. Guys, the tickets to go to this game were way too expensive. I had every intention. My dear friend Nate is a Bears fan. My dad and brother are Bears fans. I was going to this game. And then everybody had so much hype about this Bears team or whatever, and our team, and the tickets are way too expensive now to go watch this team live.
Caleb Williams.
The Caleb Williams and the AR duel. I get it. But my goodness, so I won't be there making it loud, but hopefully those folks who are there make it worthwhile. Because this Bears team cannot come out here looking as good as that Packers team did last week, which is just not a good representation of what was there. So please give it to JT early and often, and I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, and I'm with y'all. I'm going with the Colts, and I'm not saying that because being a homer or whatever, but like it's one of those things where at this point you have to figure it out. Like we're 2 weeks in. You got to start figuring it out. You got to start figuring out what you need to do. Game plan has to be there, offensively and defensively. And knowing that AR is essentially still a rookie, you have to understand that he's not the one that needs to go out there and be Superman. The roster this roster that we say is a good roster, it's a solid roster. That roster has to be that. It can't go out there looking the way they've been looking the past 2 weeks. Receivers got to catch passes, defense got to get stops. Gus has to call a good defensive game. And I think this team with their back against the wall, because you start off 0-3, your playoff hopes are pretty much done unless you run the table. And so this team with their back against the wall, especially Zaire, EJ, the leaders in that locker room, I think this is where they show up. I think this is the week they show up and try to get this ship right and get things back on track to be the team that they know they can be. Yes, I think they can do it. Now, if they don't, like I said, fire Gus Bradley to the moon. Boom, where are you at, man?
I think if we get Josh Downs back this weekend, I think that'll be a good piece to add. He's really an X factor because he can get you a lot of that underneath stuff. The passes that Kylan Grant has been getting have been a lot of what Josh Downs would be getting. So, you add that element back to the team to go along with, with AD and AP on the outside. You're going to make teams either have to play that deep coverage, or if they play up close, they're going to have to, get exposed, by AD or AP. So if Josh is back, honestly, I think that'll be a good thing. I think we can win 35-13. And I know that sounds a little wild, but it's kind of like expect the unexpected, that adds another wrinkle to the offense. And I think they'll kind of simplify things more, kind of slow the game down. Like I said, I want to see them hit them in the mouth, first thing out the gate, play action pass, throw it deep. They might expect that run from JT. But if the Bears have over 100 yards rushing by halftime, I think we lose 17-14.
I ain't going to hold you, Boom. If the Bears have 100 plus yards by halftime rushing, I'm leaving PSF app. Like, I'm not staying on that app for the rest of the game. I'm closing down. I won't close down the live because y'all would whatever. I won't.
I just switched to red zone at that point. Like, just show me the highlights.
I'm leaving. Like, I'm leaving my house. I'm turning off the game and I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere. Me and my son gonna go to the park because that's just a waste of my time.
And I'm skipping Thanksgiving. Like, I'm not talking to my father for a month. No, I'm not dealing with it.
Because there's no way you give up 230 in the first half last week, and then you come out and let a team that is averaging 99 yards a game on the ground put up 100 plus in the first half.
Hey, listen, all I know,
coordinator Gus Bradley.
You do that, fire his ass into the moon.
I'm just gonna wait for the text in the group chat to just start lighting up on Sunday. Like, I just
hey,
you know what's gonna be funny is that there's WNBA playoff games on Sunday, so I will be flipping back and forth, of course, or whatever else. But I probably will be in a way better mood than y'all will be.
I will actually be in church, so I will be looking at my phone while I'm in church, and I will know then. By the group chat, I will know if I need to watch the game when I get home, or if I just need to go somewhere else and have some fun.
Church is probably a good place to be right now during a Colts game.
Hey, matter of fact,
I need a little help.
Hey,
while you're at church,
I ain't even go play with you right now. I be in church and my cousin is a pastor, and I'll just be looking at him like, "Hey, bro, come on, wrap this up. I got a game to go to. Wrap this up."
Got a little red light going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
wrap
Boom.
it up.
While you're in church, pray for the Colts. I said, while you're in church, pray for the Colts. Pray for Gus Bradley's game plan.
I am not praying for Gus Bradley at this point.
Pray.
No, he's out on his own.
Took him off the prayer list. He took him off the prayer list.
Off the prayer list is crazy.
Get it out the mud, Gus. Get it out the mud. Not on the prayer list.
Pray for yourself.
He said, worry about yourself.
Yeah, worry about yourself at this point. I'm not praying for you.
Oh my Lord. Oh my goodness. I have real tears in my eyes.
Booga be like, Lord, we come to you today, ask you for a Colts win, ask you that everybody does their job except for Gus Bradley.
You know what's funny is this was years ago now, but like my pastor at the time this is before I went to the church that I do now, but that he was strategically scheduled services earlier on football Sundays so that people could be out of church before the 1 o'clock games. And he was so serious about it too. He was like, I will not have y'all yelling and screaming at me.
Yeah,
you miss your 1 o'clock games. So he literally would move service that like for just the fall up through like February, move service to accommodate the games. And I'm like, my man, welcome to the South.
See, I'm about to start going to my mom's church because my mom, well, she does her little thing or whatever, but they live in Boston, so like I'm gonna have to wake up hella early to listen to her sermon. But it's before 10 o'clock, so I'll be good. Just in time for football, where I can give my undivided attention to the NFL. Give my time to Jesus in the morning. They give my time to the NFL at 10 o'clock.
Gotta cash some of those prayers in right away. Hey, come on, man. Come on.
You don't gotta pray for me because I'm pretty sure that my pastor's from Ohio and I'm pretty sure he's a Bengals fan. So I need prayer.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, listen, Boom, put Chip on your prayer list, okay?
Yes. I got you.
Yeah,
I got
put
you.
Chip on there.
There's an open spot. You got Gus's spot.
That's right. I'll take Gus's spot.
Gus ain't one of us. But anyway, before we go, do y'all got anything else, man? That's all I got. It's a wrap. We've been here for an hour 19.
It's because we haven't seen each other in so long. So
yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Mad Jay couldn't come. Jay must be working hard. He couldn't close his office door and go to his car. couldn't leave the people unsupervised.
I literally text him. He ain't even text back, so he must.
Busy. Or he might be asleep. He might be in his car asleep or something.
You know how many times we've gotten a text message from Justin hours later? My bad, y'all. I was knocked out.
Man, I ain't see nothing, man. I'm pissed. Hey, bro, gonna be mad when he see it. Bro is gonna be mad. Yeah. He gonna be pissed. Come tomorrow
fully expecting a text in the group chat from Justin. My bad, y'all.
Well, man, that's all. To the people that's watching, we thank y'all. We will be putting this out on Twitter tomorrow. For the world to go back to YouTube and see, especially Colts fans. They should get a good laugh out of this. But yeah, man, that's all I got. Glad we back together, man. We got to do it again next week, especially if hopefully it's after a win.
Yes,
let's do it. And Lord help our Colts.
Yeah. Oh, and if you're listening, make sure to tap into the PSF app. What is it? Pro fan, I don't know. PSF.
Pro sports
fans?
Yeah, pro sports fans, something like that.
That's right.
But make sure you tap into the app. Yeah, for professional fans that actually understand football. So tap into the app, and because we will be live Sunday during the game, just talking about it. Giving our thoughts, chatting with everybody. So make sure y'all tap in. I'm telling y'all, if we are If we give up 100 yards in the first half rushing, I am turning off the game, and I am leaving, and I will leave the app as well.
I'm showing up to the Colts complex. Gus, you're not welcome here no more, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna have to lock the gates on.
Ticket. Time to get out of nap. Let's go.
I mean,
we're gonna have to lock the gates.
I will not
Bring
be
him a
doing
Mayflower
those
truck.
I will not be doing those sorts of things, but if I happen, because of where I work, I can write about all kinds of things, including Colts football. If you catch a rage post from me on Monday, you know why.
Hey, listen, man. Gus messed this up. The Mayflower truck would be outside his house.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, man, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all tapping in. Until next time, y'all be easy.
Bye.
Fuck the Bears.
Wow. Boom. Goodness. We were so wholesome before.
You can always count on Boom.
My God. Boom.
Straight from the prayer list.
Oh my God.
And Gus Bradley, right?
Yeah. Get Gus the fuck out of here.